A general set his hunting dogs loose on an 8-year-old boy, in front of the boy's mother. She was held down so she couldn't look away. The boy's crime? His dog got injured. By accident. While playing. A man once looked at this story and said, "I'm not rejecting God. I'm just returning him the ticket." By the end of this video you'll understand exactly what he meant, and you won't be able to argue with him either. You were taught, probably as a child, that good things happen to good people. Karma. Divine justice. You reap what you sow. I'm going to show you the most devastating argument ever written against that idea. And by the end of this video you'll have to decide, is it actually true? Or have you been lying to yourself your whole life? Here's proof the universe doesn't keep score. The kindest person you know, struggling right now. The cruelest person you've met, comfortable, untouched. Cancer doesn't check if you prayed this morning. Earthquakes don't audit your goodness before choosing houses. Children, completely innocent, suffer things that would break the strongest adult alive. Not as punishment, not as lesson, just because the universe doesn't ask who deserves what. And here's what's strange. Most people hearing the boy's story don't ask what happened to him. They ask something else. Why would a world allow it? That question is older than you think. And in 1880, a dying novelist decided to build an entire argument around it. One so dangerous it's still unanswered a century and a half later. His name was Fyodor Dostoevsky. He created a character whose only purpose was to destroy the comfortable lie that suffering has meaning. His name was Ivan Karamazov. Ivan wasn't an atheist. That's too simple. He looked at evidence, actual evidence collected from real newspaper reports, and concluded he could not make that evidence fit inside any acceptable version of God. He told his brother Alyosha, a devout monk, "I have been collecting cases of what happens to children specifically. Let me tell you one." That's when he told the story you heard at the start of this video. Ivan stopped after telling it, looked at his brother. What did that general deserve? Alyosha, the gentle one, the believer, said with a twisted smile, "To be shot." Ivan was almost delighted. He just made a monk demand violence instead of forgiveness, because the truth was too monstrous for theology to soften. But that wasn't even Ivan's real point. Here's the question that actually matters, the one that's impossible to answer. Ivan said, "Imagine you're building a perfect world. Eternal peace and happiness for every soul that will ever live. But to build it, you must torture one single child to death. One. Just one. Would you consent to be the architect on those terms?" And when Ivan asked the question, something unexpected happened. The believer agreed with him. Alyosha said, "No, I would not consent." And Ivan said the line you already heard at the start. "The price of harmony has been set too high. I would rather remain with my unavenged suffering than accept a paradise built on one child's tears. I'm not rejecting God. I'm just respectfully returning him the ticket." Sit with that for a second. Can you actually argue against him? The terrifying thing is that Ivan's question never went away. 60 years later, another man found himself staring at the exact same problem. Not in a Russian novel. In the real world, while Nazi armies were proving Ivan's point on an industrial scale. His name was Albert Camus. He opened his most famous essay with this sentence: "There is but one truly serious philosophical problem, and that is suicide." He wasn't being dramatic. He was being precise. If the universe doesn't care whether you live or die, what's the actual argument for continuing? Camus gave us Sisyphus, condemned by the gods to push a boulder up a mountain forever. It rolls back down. He pushes it up again. Forever. No reward. No end. No meaning. And here's the detail almost nobody talks about. Camus didn't care about the pushing. He cared about the walk back down the mountain. The moment Sisyphus turns, fully conscious, knowing it's pointless, and chooses to keep going anyway. One must imagine Sisyphus happy, Camus wrote. Not because the boulder stops. Because the choice to keep walking is his. Nothing can take that away. So here's the actual answer, and it's not what either Ivan or Camus would have predicted for themselves. Most people who do good are running a transaction. Underneath the kindness is a belief, The universe is keeping score and I'll be protected for this. When the diagnosis comes anyway, when the betrayal lands anyway, that kindness curdles into resentment. I did everything right. I deserved better. But the person who accepts there's no transaction, who does good with zero expectation of cosmic payment, that person can never be made bitter. Because they never asked the universe to keep a promise it never made. Dostoevsky's actual answer to Ivan wasn't an argument. It was Alyosha walking across the tavern and kissing his brother on the forehead. No rebuttal. No theology. Just presence. That's the entire answer philosophy has ever produced to the unfairness of existence. Not an explanation. An action. Choosing to love anyway, not because it's owed, not because it's rewarded, because you decided to. Ivan was right. The universe doesn't balance accounts. But Alyosha was right too, about something the universe can never touch. Ivan spent his entire life fighting God. But what happened to him at the end of the novel is something almost nobody talks about. Because Dostoevsky may have hidden his real answer there. And it's far more disturbing than anything you've heard so far. Subscribe so you don't miss it.